Okay, this has been years in the making. This is Three Musketeers in the modern day with Hasselhoff, and then they do random stuff in America.
They have a low hit rate of success.
Yeah. I did like that he looked like Garth Knight in this.
Yeah.
He dresses like a very normal man from the 1700s. He's way too into this LARPing session.
David Hasselhoff is Dogtanian.
No. We did watch a Three Musketeers dog movie once, didn't we? Three Dogateers or something.
Dogateers.
We are the Three Dogateers. We protect this castle with our lives.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. It's Hasselhoff time. And he's one of the Musketeers.
Well, he's D'Artagnan, the honorary one. He's not one of the three.
The honorary? Is D'Artagnan the honorary one?
He's the fourth one.
He seems to be the most into the Musketeer stuff, though.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like a Musketeer.
It's his passion.
Yeah, it's his passion. He bought a fucking castle.
He bought a castle because being a Musketeer is his passion.
You know how the Musketeers owned a castle?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, what's with this castle routine, man? You really buy into this Musketeer stuff, huh?
Because being a musketeer is my passion. A life without passion is not worth living at all. Deep.
Well, you know how you just buy a castle on a whim because, oh no, you're the descendant of a musketeer?
I guess if you're the hot new singer Johnny D'Artagnan, you can afford it.
The hottest new star, Johnny D'Artagnan, is going to be performing...
Playing in sold-out alleyways everywhere.
You can still go undercover, though, so
yeah.
how famous he is.
Isn't that famous singer? No.
No. Is that famous
Well, I thought
singer
it was
David
him. but no.
Hasselhoff?
Only in Germany.
We should explain Ring of the Musketeers, because
Yeah.
people are like, why the fuck
This
are you
is more
covering Ring of
famous
the
in Germany,
Musketeers?
too.
It is more famous in Germany. So, okay, this has been years in the making for us. I referenced this in a Baywatching years ago, and people are like, are you going to cover that stupid Musketeers movie with Hasselhoff? So here we are.
We're finally doing it.
He doubled for him once before in Ring of the Musketeers, a movie I still desperately need to see.
This is a weird movie.
It is very weird.
It's got a very odd backstory to it. Before we get into the backstory, real quick, this is Three Musketeers in the modern day with Hasselhoff, Cheech, Marin, who are the other people? Allison, Doody, Thomas Gottschalk. All the Germans are going to be like, oh, fuck you.
Well, it's okay, because he's French.
He's French.
Gottschalk.
And Corbin Bernsen's in there somewhere.
Well, he's not a musketeer.
He wanted to be a musketeer.
He wanted to be.
And
but he
John
sucked
Rhys-Davies.
too
John
much.
Rhys-Davies. He's not a musketeer, but he's in this movie.
He's like their Bosley.
Yeah, and it's the modern day because they're the honorary descendants of the Musketeers who have become a secret agency that may also be official that do random stuff in America, where the Musketeers are famously from.
Help yourself to the grapefruit, fresh from the Texas Panhandle, to celebrate the glorious actions of your distinguished forebears during the Mexican Revolution. Try it.
This movie is weirdly structured and very odd and only available on VHS because it was originally a German miniseries.
Dies ist der Ring der Musketiere. Wer immer ihn trägt, ist bei seiner Ehre verpflichtet, die Unschuldigen zu beschützen und das zu bewahren, was dem Wohle der Menschheit dient.
It was a co-production between an American company and a German company. They cast a well-known German actor in this.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it. It's like they had to be allowed to put some people in they wanted.
They decided Hasselhoff and this guy were the people they wanted because Germany loves Hasselhoff, and they
Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Which once again proves my old theory. Germans love David Hasselhoff.
They filmed this in English in LA, so all of the people you're going to be seeing, except for that one guy, are American actors, except for the lady, she's Irish. And they're all descendants of the Musketeers, and they all ended up in the US, even the German guy.
You'll notice not a French person in this descendant of French Musketeers.
They got an Englishman also, John Rhys-Davies, and he gives them their missions, stops David Hasselhoff from eating turkey legs with a sexy lady who never shows up again. This was a 4-episode miniseries. It was never released in English except for this chopped up 90-minute version, and boy, can you tell that this is 4 episodes of a TV show shrunk down to 90 minutes.
Very clearly, there's 4 little stories a year that happen.
It's like one story ends and you're like, this was a short movie. Oh wait, now they're starting the next one, and then the next episode, and then the next, and then you've forgotten what's going on because they kind of went on a little sidetrack with Corbin Bernsen for a second, and then they're like, wait, we had a mob story to get back to.
2 of them are kind of more personal vendettas, which John Rhys-Davies says the Musketeers are not about, but then they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because it is not personal. You are musketeers. We're not vigilantes.
No, we're not.
As we were his unwitting accomplices, we are honor bound to bring Harry to justice.
It's an interesting mystery when you're watching this, like when some plot element just disappears from the movie. It's like, was there more to that in the 4-episode version of it? Or
expanded in the miniseries, and they're like, that's not worth it for the movie cut.
Yeah, people who can speak German and can somehow get a hold of this miniseries might know what's going on. They also released the soundtrack for this too.
Yeah, 2 Hasselhoff songs.
Yeah, did Bafo in Germany.
Which once again proves my old theory. Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Them Germans, they love Hasselhoff.
They do.
Yeah, I love the, like, random excuse for him to sing a song in the middle of this, because in the first episode, they have to save a witness who's going to testify against the mob. Like, he was a secretary for the mob, and then he got a change of heart.
That's the second episode, sort of.
They're trying to protect him on the plane. So the mafia is trying to kill him, and their plot to kill him
is very convoluted.
To show up on a playground, kidnap the child of an air traffic control director, hold the child ransom, and then get the guy to give bad directions to these planes so that they'll crash and kill the witness on the planes.
It seems there's a witness coming into town tomorrow. Toledo doesn't want him to testify.
How can you stop him from testifying?
By making sure the plane doesn't land.
So they kidnapped your sister's kid to make sure that you'd cause this plane crash?
That's the cleanest way to do this.
That's the best way. I do like the henchman guy who's holding the kid in the tunnels that I'm pretty sure Hasselhoff's frog hybrid girlfriend explodes in. He's holding him hostage and then feeds the kid dog food in the,
dog food
middle
sandwich.
Of some white bread, and the kid's like, ew. He's like, ha ha, I love my job as a mob henchman.
This is dog food.
Rough, kid.
Look, as this guy's son is kidnapped, he still goes into work and no one really thinks much of it. Like, he's there conflicted about whether he's going to make this bad decision to crash people, and they're, hey, anything wrong, bud? It's like, I don't know, maybe his son is currently kidnapped.
Hey, Ross. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Here. Thanks.
They were told not to tell anyone or they would kill the kid, and then...
But John Rhys-Davies has his secret black...
Well, that's why they're doing... They went to 3 random futs. Someone related to them went to them even though they weren't supposed to.
Oh.
There was some...
Well, he didn't bother to
She said some line, I don't know if she said it was her brother or someone else, someone went to them.
That was the thing he couldn't explain, because for no reason at the beginning they go, all right, did they call you? And he goes, no. And they're like, well, how'd you find out? No more questions.
Did she contact you?
Nope.
Who did?
No more questions.
No more questions.
Because you just said the brother called me. That wasn't a big secret.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they don't want to explain to each other or the audience. Like, why do you have a castle? Because being a musketeer is my passion. Oh, well, that explains it then.
From his runaway music career, it's how he just decided to buy a castle.
Unclear if he's really that famous or just an up-and-comer. Either way, I feel like it's bad to be a singer in any public capacity when you're going undercover. Because he's a singer, he's Johnny D'Artagnan, and then
his descendant, they were like cleaning up his ancestors if he's got all this inherited money to buy a castle.
Apparently. And then the lady hosts a radio show.
Thanks for calling. The pleasure's all yours.
And the German guy, he's a teacher. They're like, he's German because he teaches German to kids.
Sometimes he sticks his head in a fish tank.
Yeah, to teach the children that you can do anything you set your mind to. Like, stick your head in a fish tank.
The reason I put my head into this stupid tank was to prove
what can be done when you believe in yourself.
You could even do that.
That's how he's introduced. He's the goofy guy and also horny.
Yeah, that's about all the character he gets. Sometimes the scenes is just kind of like, and he's there.
And he's there. And Cheech Marin's a thief who joins later because he doesn't know he's one of the Musketeers. The ring was lost, and then they bring him into the fold, and they're like, oh, he's not ready.
But then they do nothing at all to get him ready and then start putting him in missions.
Yeah. John Rhys-Davies is like, no, put him in anyway.
You are coming with me.
Oh, hey, no problemo, boss.
This seems like a very slapdash organization. It's apparently just this far-reaching thing. Like, they have authority with the FBI and all these organizations.
Well, they have some authority, but the FBI is above them, because when they go to the court, the FBI is like...
Yeah, they're having a dick-waving contest.
Yeah,
There's like, oh, my authority oversees yours.
Yeah, supersedes the Musketeers.
But ours is to deliver him to his testimony. We have to take him into that hearing room.
My orders are to take him inside, and they supersede yours.
I don't give a damn.
Let them take him, John.
Sorry.
It's like the police don't even question them when they're found at a crime scene.
Well, because the police were like, can you take care of this and do us a favor? Because we can't save this guy, but 3 random futs can, so...
Who have, I don't know, questionable training based on what we see as Cheech Marin, which is nothing.
Hasselhoff fences a sexy lady and eats turkey legs, and also fences armor set.
Yeah, armor in a very, like, small room where he's got, like, a dresser behind him where he's like, oh, I can't move too much in here.
He dresses like a very normal man from the 1700s or whenever the Musketeers
so
is
the
set.
little facial hair.
He's way too into this LARPing session.
I'm done.
Okay, so the big plan to rescue this kid is for Hasselhoff to host a random free concert outside of where they're holding the kid hostage to distract the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then they grab the kid, and then they're like, everything's cool, and then the plane doesn't crash? Is that how that goes?
Yeah, because the father just decides not to crash them because he doesn't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, well, but I mean, he finds out his kid's okay.
Yeah,
so
after the fact.
Right.
Vicky's safe. He's with his mother now.
Thanks, Johnny D'Artagnan, but I've already crashed the plane.
But anyway, they rescue
But he makes the right decision, I guess, before finding out they saved his son.
Oh, okay. Just to show he was a good guy all along. That random character actor we've seen in everything. But that was the end of that, and I was like, oh, the movie went by really quickly because I forgot that this was 4 episodes of a TV show, so they were starting the next episode.
This is one of their successes, so get ready for failure.
Yeah, rescuing the kid, I think, is one of 2 successes in this movie.
They have a low hit rate of success.
Yeah. They have an almost 0% success rate in this movie. So the second part is them protecting the guy in witness protection. So they're like at a safe house. And that goes swimmingly. They immediately find the safe house. They have to get him out there. They take him to the court, and then the FBI is like, no, our dicks are bigger than yours. We'll protect him. And then guess what fucking happens?
Get an ambulance!
Fatality.
Shut all up.
They should have listened to the singer Musketeer boy. They could have protected him from that.
They have this really heartwarming moment where Mitch finds out what a great guy he is.
Yeah, like we have to be connected to this secretary for the mob and know that he was a good guy before he's murdered viciously. Like that episode of Miami Vice where Bruce Willis gets gunned down on the steps, and that's the end credits.
The Musketeers are all pissed about this, and they're like, we're gonna get revenge, and John Rhys-Davies is like, no, that's not what the Musketeers are about. And they're like, okay, we'll wait 1 episode, then we'll get revenge.
Then we'll get revenge.
He's like, that sounds great.
Yeah, they take it pretty hard. You know what, we like this guy, we tried so hard to protect him, and then he dies. This episode was kind of depressing. How do we get a win? We're gonna get revenge on that mafia guy, and then John Rhys-Davies is like, that's not the code, and you're supposed to follow the code, and Hasselhoff goes on with Cheech Marin about how the code of old or whatever is what they follow because no one has honor anymore.
Watch me shoot my crossbow. The code of old.
The code of old.
They live by a code of honor, and not by today's standards, the standards of old.
The souls of the samurai are never given Only earned. You have demonstrated the heart of a true Japanese warrior.
Cheech Marin also, this is the first mission he's actually a part of, because he's not a part of the kid mission, really. And then they're just like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. Get out there.
Yeah,
Get
like-
shot at.
Well, the lady is like, he doesn't have any training and he's not ready yet. We shouldn't take him out on this mission. And then John Rhys-Davies is like, go ahead. He nearly blows their cover several times.
You expect me to be a busboy? Time to pee out of place.
This seems like it's supposed to be this really big thing, this kind of secret organization, the Musketeers, but we see John Rhys-Davies in an office filled with antiques.
He's an antique dealer. That's his cover job.
Yeah. He's got like a secretary and then the Musketeers.
And
We
then
don't see anyone else.
Well, they're just so good.
They're so good.
Because they're
As
failures.
witnessed in a different movie, not this one.
Well, if they would have taken him to the court, he would have lived. But the stupid FBI fucked it up because they didn't know about the code.
If Hasselhoff was standing beside him when he got shot,
He would be standing there and be like, oh, then put the guy in front of him.
He just stood there and like deflected the bullets.
Yeah, you didn't expect the code of old to deflect these
My
bullets.
open shirt will stop the bullets.
He's like, wait, they have a gun, but I have a microphone. I've been looking for freedom. They're like, oh, he's just so good. We can't shoot this guy now.
They're like, I'd rather kill myself than Hasselhoff.
But they're like, okay, I guess we'll put this on ice for an episode until we come back to this. And then I'm like, oh, is that plot over? Because then Corbin Bernsen shows up out of fucking nowhere. And I thought he was going to be the mob guy, but he's not the mob guy. He's the ex-husband of the girl. Now she gets a plot other than dressing up in...
French
Yeah,
woman.
the Irish French woman. She gets a plot that's not dressing up sexy. Now she gets to have an abusive ex who is like, we fell out of love because you hate the Musketeers. And turns out he really
like when
wanted
she
to
got
be...
the ring, he was jealous, and he's like, I want to be a musketeer too.
I want to be a musketeer. And she's like, there's only one ring. I gotta be a musketeer.
There's one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
I'll never be in a movie like that.
We could have both been musketeers. Would have been great.
The ring was passed down to me, not us. Why could you never understand that?
Yeah, I heard it all a million times before. Excuses!
He wanted to be a musketeer, and he was a cop, and she thought he was still a cop, and he's like, I gotta go make this cop deal, and then I need some protection, because I think this guy's gonna kill me. Ricky Jay's in this movie, and maybe he'll throw some cards at me, and I don't want him to throw cards at me.
Spoiler, just like Tomorrow Never Dies, he doesn't.
I don't know if he throws cards in the miniseries.
Yeah, was it cut again?
He's one of many James Bond people in this movie, including Corbin Bernsen's girl wife. What is her name? I keep calling her girl. She
wife.
had a name.
Her name's Allison.
She's Athos. Anne-Marie Athos.
Anne-Marie. As good
like
as Johnny D'Artagnan.
Johnny D'Artagnan and Anne-Marie Athos. And she's like, John Rhys-Davies, don't tell them about this being my husband, because I don't want them to know about my personal life. And it's like, cool. And then they go undercover at this club that they keep showing up at in this movie, where all of the same dancers are always there doing the same moves, and they have the shot of this one lady's butt they keep showing. And they have some funny undercover stuff, and somehow people don't recognize these people in these public jobs. And Ricky Jay is there. He's gonna shoot Corbin Bernsen, and then Corbin Bernsen shoots him, and it turns out he double-crossed them because he was a bad guy.
He was the bad. Yeah, he's super sleazy in the first scene. Like, he's supposed to be good. He's not coming off good.
Corbin Bernsen isn't a movie. You're like, he's a good guy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel like after Major League, he stopped being a good guy.
See him hanging out with Stephen Baldwin. You're like, oh, the disaster duo.
Whatever season of Celebrity Mole, it's coming back. We're gonna be in it again because people loved it. Not that we were assholes.
You stick Steven in the water, stick him under there, don't let him out and say, are you the mole? Are you the mole?
So anyway, he was a bad guy the whole time.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so he's like, now that I got all this money, because I'm not a cop anymore, I'm a hired assassin. We have all this money and I'm going to get back together with you, Athos. And then she's like, no.
Then he goes, too bad, get in the car. We're going to McDonald's.
We're going to McDonald's. He kidnaps her. Another great moment for her in this movie. And then her friends on the motorcycles have to go save her. She's like, see, you wouldn't have been a good musketeer. And he's like, I'll prove that I was going to be a good musketeer.
Yeah. We're going to drive off a cliff, and then you'll know I was a good musketeer.
We're driving off the cliff.
We're going over, baby. We're going over the cliff.
Bury me with my money.
Bury me with my money in the ring to show I was a musketeer.
Kannst du nicht einfach die Fahrt genießen und langsam in Stimmung kommen?
Nein, das kann ich nicht.
Du hältst die Klappe oder ich werde dich gleich erschießen. Du hast schon mal mein Leben ruiniert und ich werde nicht zulassen, dass du es wieder tust.
I wanted to see more of this failed musketeer Corbin Bernsen, but you just get the one episode in the middle because he drives off a cliff and dies.
He might be okay. Well, no, probably not now.
Yeah, if they combined him with the mob plot, it would have been more cohesive as a movie, but because it's a mini-series stuck together as a movie.
You could have connected.
They could have,
yeah. I thought he was hired by the mob guy, but it turns out it wasn't, unless there's some line I missed. I'm sure Matt will put it in if I did.
Musketeers. Harry was contracted by Polito to kill his own hitman to prevent him from testifying.
I feel like it was unrelated, because then he's out of the movie, and you're like, what the fuck was this thing? And because it's so chopped up, she's fine after this. Like, I have no feelings about my ex-husband, who I kind of had feelings for dying. I guess she fell out of love with him.
It wasn't working for us. We fell out of love.
You fell out of love.
So she was.
Yeah,
she was
he
over
kind of
it.
sucked. He was Corbin Bernsen after all.
She's like, oh, thank God, he's with Stephen Baldwin now. He was in the car with him, and they died together. It was a cut subplot.
And then Hasselhoff looks over the cliff and then says, like, the end.
Yeah.
Executive producer David Hasselhoff.
It was chopped up about as badly as that. I'm like, wait, Hasselhoff was the one that saved her? Now they're on the ground together? And then Cheech Marin's like, haha, I gotta say a one-liner. And you're like, what the fuck with it? And they have some scene where they're in the Seinfeld puffy shirts again. And I'm like, why are they dressed like that? And then the next scene they're in another, because they keep changing really quickly because they've chopped through several scenes in the movie.
Cheech Marin is mostly there for one-liners. His biggest contribution is he knows the guy who drives the mafia guy's limo from his thievery days.
He plays a big part in the last episode. This is how he earns his musketeership.
He puts a tracker in the limo, which is one of his biggest things, because then they're listening in on him the whole time.
Yeah, he knows all of the criminal connections from his former life as a criminal, so that's how he contributes to the team. And once they kill Corbin Bernsen, they're like, we just remembered the mob plot again, so we're going back to
Actually, we do want revenge.
Yeah, they've planted a listening device in this limo that one of his criminal friends was driving, which one of the mob guys ends up using. And there's another mob guy who's above the mob guy that was trying to kill the witness, or I guess did kill the witness. And he wants to work for, like, Big Papa, I think is his name.
Who's Papa? Papa Leo Burke?
Papa, please.
I know we can do business, Papa.
Papa, don't preach. I'm in trouble deep, and I'm keeping my baby.
I thought it was
Papa?
legit his father first. I was like, I didn't know about the ages there because they both seem old, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, they both seem old.
It's a little confusing because he's just like, Papa, please, Papa.
Papa, please. The other guy is just like, I'm freaking old. I'm trying to do Marlon Brando or something.
There was one time he came in like laughing. I thought it was Danny DeVito almost for a second.
I wish they could get Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to you, Vince. This job, smooth, very smooth.
Random German miniseries in 1992? No, I can get better work than this.
Yeah, do Batman or something.
I'm doing other things at the time. This other mob guy wants to work for Big Papa, and he's like, what can I do to prove my loyalty to you? And he's like, get these diamonds. And they overhear that there's this diamond deal going on. The Musketeers do. So they're like, let's intercept it and we'll switch the diamonds with some fake diamonds, which they do. And that leads to the wonderful ending.
Yeah, the Big Papa kills
Big Papa discovers they're fake and murders the guy.
He's like, you betrayed me. Well, I guess you're dead.
Papa! Papa!
Hooray!
We did it! Cheech Marin, you're officially a musketeer!
You're a musketeer! And John Rhys-Davies is like, I guess revenge was good!
Yeah, I've changed my mind for some reason.
They've all got to dress in their sashes because it's the Star Wars ending. And Chewie is just screaming over there.
No medal for you, Chewie.
No medal for you, Chewie. We
Except
gotta
in
give
the
one
comics.
to Cheech Marin for his honorable getting that guy murdered. You're finally a musketeer.
I love this is their big heroic end. They're like,
They don't even kill kill the bad
We
guys.
switched the diamonds and we got him killed. We did it.
Murderous mafia guy out there, but anyway.
No. They got the one who killed the guy who was the witness, so that's all that mattered. Their personal vendetta is settled.
Yeah, we'll take care of that in the sequel. That's coming up never. Maybe they got into it in the miniseries, but we didn't see that because it just abruptly ends.
Also, Corbin Bernsen comes back as a ghost in the miniseries.
Yeah, him and Stephen Baldwin are like, they pull a celebrity mall, we're back, because no one wanted this.
Yeah, the most unrequested return of all time is here.
He's like, I'll half-ass it through the sequels. I can do it. I did it for Major League, back to the minors. I can do it here. No thanks, we'll give you a call.
This movie is back to the minors.
I'm a little tired of all the competition and insults.
Competition is life.
Insults are an art form.
Is there anything we forgot to cover here?
Oh, no.
I feel like that's it. I think we covered all the episodes of this movie.
The episodes of the movie, yeah.
I wish we could see the full miniseries in English. Maybe someday they'll do a DVD release and they'll have the original language track on it.
It would be interesting to see
that would be cool to see. I don't think any of it's had a DVD release or anything.
No, it seems largely forgotten.
It's certainly not in English. It's only on this crappy VHS.
Yeah. The only evidence this movie existed, or miniseries.
Oh, we didn't talk about how the cover pastes their faces on and it's so bad, and that's, I think, half the reason people wanted us to review it is because the cover looks so shitty.
Also, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, they're not on horses at any point. What is this from? I don't think this is them. I think this is a still from like another movie.
Probably
Who's this mustache guy?
I don't
not Hasselhoff. These are just some random dudes. It's not, the lady's not there. It's just
It's actually the turtles from Turtles 3.
Tun Sie, was mein junger Freund sagt. Er kann sehr böse werden. Ah, wir sind die Musketiere.
Die anderen Musketiere, die die Raubüberfälle begangen haben, sind die echten Musketiere. Eure Aufgabe war es nur, ihnen als Tarnung zu dienen.
Boga.
Im Kampf um ihre Ehre setzen sie ihr Leben aufs Spiel. Doch die verbrecherische Intrige bringt sie ins Gefängnis.
At no point are all four of them on motorcycles because they have
at the very end, Cheech Marin gets a stupid little...
He gets a scooter.
Yeah, a scooter that's small. The other cover of this movie, too, is really funny because it cuts out the German guy and then it shows them driving motorcycles with like a wall of fire behind them. It's like, that doesn't happen.
When did Corbin Bernsen sitting in like a throne happen? There's a picture here that I don't remember. I think that's a scene
in the mini-series.
He sat on a throne and said some things about how he was a musketeer.
Yeah, he said he was really the descendant of the King of France. You have to obey me.
And they're like, we're honor bound to do this.
For the king.
We, just like the honor of old, we got that guy killed off screen and went, ha-ha.
He's like Burger King Lachlan Monroe with his throne out in the rain.
That's all they could afford for this. And then they go back to that same club where everyone's dancing or something.
The Musketeers were formed by the king.
Elvis?
Louis XIII.
Oh.
And then Hasselhoff sings a song. Only one Hasselhoff song made it to the movie. Maybe the miniseries had both that were on the soundtrack. But they could only handle one for the VHS.
It's too much.
There's too much Hasselhoff.
Shove my songs in, I don't care.
But much like a Hasselhoff concert, all of the people that came to his in the movie, it was just like a bunch of kids. They were like, yay!
Hey kids! What's hot? What's cool? Hot Wheels! Von Mattel.
It's kind of funny seeing this too after seeing Baywatch Nights Season 2, where he doesn't care, and you're expecting when John Rhys-Davies is telling him about the missions for him to be like, oh, I don't care about that. I don't want to save that kid.
See, this is 1992 Hasselhoff and not 1997 Hasselhoff, who's completely checked out. He still had some hopes and dreams at this point. He grew a mustache for this. Yeah, he's like, and this is the show that'll get me off of Baywatch for sure. It's my passion to be a musketeer. This is going to be my new Michael Knight. That's why I've dressed up as Garth Knight, because I can do Knight Rider again. Come on! It's going to happen.
Musketeer is my passion.
I did like that he looked like Garth Knight in this.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the good episodes of Knight Rider.
Little Carr.
The ones that weren't boring.
Carr when he was Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
Not the others.
Turn away.
Anyway, now that we're talking about Knight Rider, I think we've finished with
we've
Ring
gone
of the
too
Musketeers. Do you recommend this movie to anyone, Phelan?
Not really.
Why not?
Maybe as a comedy like the cover you have says it is.
It's kind of a comedy. In theory, it's a comedy. Yeah, I think if you can find a copy of this movie and you're interested in how movies are structured.
You have to have a VCR.
If you have a VCR, maybe there's a rip online somewhere, I don't know. But if you can find it and you're interested in how things are chopped up and edited together, piecing together what this actually was as a miniseries, it's kind of an interesting watch. If you just like shitty Hasselhoff movies, it is a shitty Hasselhoff movie. It's a little confusing, but I think if you have some context, maybe you'll enjoy it.
If you're going it in for, I guess, an educational experience of a mess, yeah, you got that.
Hey, Tony! How you doing, man?
Here's the money.
If you're expecting a well-structured movie, look elsewhere.
If you want to see Hasselhoff sing and dance, yeah, this is a movie that it happens in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think that's the end.
Yeah.
Honor.
All for one and all
fun
for
all,
Hasselhoff.
yeah.
Fun for all. Fun for all.
It's an adventure that's all for one and fun for all.
Let's go buy a castle. That's my passion.
Yeah, well, the German guy in real life bought a castle,
Yeah,
so
it was his passion.
live the dream!
Tried to kill me with a forklift. You're gonna get
Real quick, sorry, you got some sweat on your forehead.
Keep this in.
Yeah, I just didn't want you watching it later and be like, why am I so sweaty? It's a hot day.